In the heart of the vast Pacific Ocean lies a forgotten island, where colossal stone giants have stood in absolute silence for many long centuries. Who were they? What are they watching with those hollow, empty eyes that seem to pierce through the very fabric of time and human memory? Step into the gathering shadows of Rapa Nui, a place where the very stones speak of a predicted death and a civilization lost to time. The island stands as a lonely sentinel, isolated by thousands of miles of salt water, guarding secrets that have baffled explorers and historians for ages. As the light fades, the atmosphere grows heavy with the weight of the past, inviting us to uncover the truth behind these massive stone icons. These giants were not mere decorations. They were the heartbeat of a people, a silent testament to a grandeur that eventually led to their undoing. Listen closely to this wind whistling through the stone crevices, sounding like a ghostly moan from those who labored here many centuries ago in despair. Under the unforgiving glare of the midday sun, the raw power and majestic presence of the Moai become strikingly clear to every modern visitor today. Hundreds of statues are scattered across the landscape, some reaching heights of 10 meters, weighing as much as 80 tons of solid volcanic ash stone. The pukao, these massive red stone hats, add an extra layer of mystery, suggesting a high level of social status and complex ritualistic cultural meaning. Without the use of modern machinery or iron tools, the ancient Rapa Nui people managed to carve these behemoths from the toughest volcanic rock available. Each statue served as a physical vessel for the spirit of an ancestor, and the guardian soul protecting the life and prosperity of the living tribes. Yet, the central question remains: how did a prehistoric society move these gargantuan blocks of stone over miles of hilly and rugged volcanic terrain today? The ingenuity required to engineer such a feat is staggering, suggesting a deep understanding of physics and a massive coordination of human labor and will. Every line and curve of the stone was calculated to command respect, turning the landscape into a sacred gallery of divine power and ancestral worship. The ground itself seems to remember the pressure of these weights, holding the secrets of a logistics system that defied the limitations of their era. The sheer scale of the Ahu Tongariki platform demonstrates the collective effort of a society dedicated to honoring their past through these incredible stone icons. Even in decay, the statues retain a haunting beauty, a reminder that even the most powerful empires eventually return to the earth from which they came. As we explore further, we find ourselves at the very birthplace of these giants, a place where the transformation from mountain to god began long ago. Welcome to the workshop of the gods, Rano Raraku. This volcanic crater served as the primary quarry and the industrial heart of the Moai production. Hundreds of years ago, this entire area echoed with the rhythmic sound of stone hitting stone, a constant symphony of construction that never seemed to rest. The workers used simple tools made of harder basalt to chip away at the softer volcanic tuff, a painstaking process that took months for each statue. Some statues remained forever trapped in the rock, as if the carvers suddenly dropped their tools and fled in the face of a sudden, terrifying catastrophe. Walking through Rano Raraku feels like stepping into a frozen moment of history, at where the ambition of an entire civilization is laid bare for all. These abandoned projects tell a story of interrupted dreams, showing the transition from a thriving manufacturing hub to a silent graveyard of stone giants today. Every chisel mark is a testament to the dedication of the craftsmen who spent their lives shaping these massive blocks into the faces of their ancestors. The scale of the operation suggests a highly organized society with a clear division of labor, supported by a surplus of food and resources at first. This giant, known as El Gigante, was meant to be the pinnacle of their achievement, yet it serves as a monument to their overreaching ambition instead. There is a heavy stillness here now, a sharp contrast to the bustling activity and heavy breathing that once filled this cavernous volcanic production center. The heat and dust must have been oppressive, and yet the drive to create these religious icons pushed the workers to complete nearly 1,000 different statues. Once carved, the true challenge began: moving these multi-ton giants across the island without wheels, pack animals, or the help of any modern mechanical power. The transport of the Moai is perhaps the greatest mystery of all, giving birth to legends that the statues actually walked to their final resting places. Local folklore speaks of mana, a spiritual power that allowed the statues to walk, but archaeologists have discovered a much more practical, though difficult, method. By rocking the statues vertically, a large team of people could move the giant forward in a waddling motion, making it appear as if it walked. This technique was incredibly risky. One wrong pull could send the 80-ton statue crashing to the ground, shattering it instantly and wasting months of hard work. Every step forward was a battle against gravity, requiring the synchronized strength of hundreds of men and women working in perfect unison under the sun. The walking theory explains why many fallen statues are found face down on uphill paths or face up on downhill slopes along the ancient transport routes. The obsession with these statues began to consume the islanders, as more and more resources were diverted from survival to the construction and moving of icons. Did they worship the Moai as protectors, or had the statues become stone masters, enslaving the population in a never-ending cycle of labor and religious devotion? Moving a single statue could take weeks or even months, depending on the size and the distance, exhausting the island's fragile and very limited ecosystem quickly. The coordination required suggests a powerful central leadership, capable of mobilizing the entire population toward a single, massive, and ultimately very destructive common goal. Yet, blood and sweat were the true lubricants of this transport system, as the human cost of these statues began to rise with every new project started. As the statues moved, the landscape changed, with the once abundant forest being cleared to provide the space and materials needed for the massive transport roads. The islanders pushed themselves to the limit, driven by a spiritual fervor that blinded them to the ecological disaster that was slowly unfolding all around them. The completion of a Moai was a moment of triumph, but it was a victory that came with a heavy price that the island would soon pay. When the last tree fell, the pride of the Rapa Nui began to crumble. To serve their stone gods, they had sacrificed the very environment they needed. The loss of the forests meant no more wood for canoes, no more protection for the soil, and no more resources to sustain a growing population. As resources dwindled, the social order collapsed into chaos. The people turned their anger toward the statues that had failed to protect them from starvation. Civil war erupted between the clans. The island became a prison, a tiny world of violence where the struggle for survival replaced the worship of ancestors. The very tools used to carve the Moai were repurposed into weapons of war, as the islanders fought over the few remaining scraps of fertile land. The fall of the statues was a symbolic end to the old world, a desperate act of iconoclasm by a people who felt abandoned by their gods. Hunger became a constant companion, and the population that once numbered in the thousands began to plummet as the island's capacity to support life failed. The ecological collapse was total. Without trees to build boats, they could no longer fish the deep waters, leaving them trapped on a dying land. The grandeur they sought through stone became their tombstone, as a silent monument to a civilization that forgot the importance of living in harmony with nature. The silence that followed the war was deafening, a tragic end to one of the most remarkable and mysterious cultures the world has ever seen. In just a few generations, the society shifted from a peak of artistic achievement to a state of primitive survival and constant, desperate intertribal warfare. Those statues that remained standing watched as their creators turned against each other, their silent, stone faces witnessing the slow extinction of a grand legacy. The island became a ghost of its former self, a cautionary tale written in stone and soil for any future civilization that might follow their path. Nature eventually began to reclaim the island, but the scars left by the human obsession with the Moai would remain etched into the earth forever. The tragedy of Easter Island is a mirror for our own world. So a warning about what happens when we prioritize monuments over the very lifeblood of our planet. Recovery would take centuries, and the Rapa Nui would never again reach the heights of their ancestors, leaving behind only the silent, heavy giants to tell. As we look back at the ashes of their world, we must ask ourselves if we are capable of learning the lessons they left behind in stone. Today, the Moai stand as powerful symbols of human creativity, but they also serve as a painful reminder of the fragility of our entire global environment. In the absolute stillness of the night, you can almost feel the presence of the ancestors, their stone eyes still watching over the island they once loved. The mysteries of Rapa Nui have been partially solved by science, but the emotional weight of their story continues to haunt our modern human imagination today. These statues are more than just archaeological curiosities. They are a profound testament to the heights and depths of the human spirit and its many ambitions. Are we, in our modern world, repeating the same mistakes of the Rapa Nui, sacrificing our future for the sake of temporary glory and massive stone monuments? The island is now a bridge between the past and the present, inviting us to reflect on our own relationship with the earth and our own legacy. The price of greatness is often high, sometimes costing everything a civilization has, leaving behind only the silent remains of their once magnificent and proud artistic achievements. Rapa Nui remains a place of profound beauty and deep sadness, a tiny speck of land in the ocean that holds a message for all of humanity. The secrets of the walking statues may be uncovered, but the mystery of the human heart that drove them to such extremes remains an eternal riddle. We are all inhabitants of a single, isolated island in space, and the story of the Moai is a chapter we cannot afford to ignore anymore. May we find a way to honor our ancestors without destroying our children's future, finding a balance that the people of Rapa Nui unfortunately could not sustain. As the wind continues to blow across the empty Ahu, the silent giants remain, their faces an enduring warning to the civilizations that still stand today. The story of the Moai is our story, a tale of stone and stars, of greatness and greed, and the eternal hope for a new beginning.